G'day, it's Chris, and well, this is Ashley.
Hi Ron, how you going?
Today, we're going to talk about what Ash has done to his car and, well, learnings and what he's going to do next. Well, Ashley, thanks for joining me. And look, your car's looking awesome. And straight off the bat, I can see you've already done like a bit of a decal. Can you talk us through it?
I was waiting 3 years for the car, so I was sitting there spending a lot of time watching what the Americans were doing, and my wife got involved and said what things she wanted to do. So part of that's all rolled in, and a lot of eBay purchases beforehand. So I've got a whole pile of things that I'm doing and planning to do, so I guess we'll go through the list now.
Yeah, definitely. And look, the first one is that stunning, really fetching race stripes, kind of reminiscent of what I see on like either like a Beamer, bit of a Mustang, yeah.
The Mustang stripes. So my wife really likes Mustangs, and she also likes Essendon. So we went with the Essendon theme for the car. Yeah. And to tell you what though, the stripes were surprisingly cost effective and make a real difference to how the front of the car looks and how it looks on the road.
Great. And so, how much did you actually spend on it?
So it was about $350 for the racing stripes. Wow. Don't have to do the roof and things. And we did that through a group in Croydon. I'll put the banner here, I think. Really, really good. Really good. Awesome. Very impressed.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got to say, it does look the piece. And, you know, Model 3s, they all look, well, same, but Ash looks different, and I like it very much. All right, so the next thing you did was the decal, well, not decals, they're like actually shell covers on your mirrors.
Yeah, so we went with the carbon fiber look for the inside and the outside. So what we did was I looked at all the stickers that you could do for in the mirrors, but actually didn't come out to be as cost effective as what these are. So these are actually full hard shells, and considering that rocks and stuff always get flicked up at it, the hard shells will protect the mirror and the underside, and it went on in seconds. Right. No stuffing around like I saw in the videos of people trying to put on the stickers.
Exactly. Because yeah, if you've ever seen any of those videos, because of the curve and the shape and the round edges, yeah, doing any decal vinyls on the mirrors and also I believe the front bumper is extremely challenging. So
yeah. Well, we ended up moving on to, I thought it might generate a bunch of wind noise and stuff, but it seems like it's done nothing.
Awesome.
So that's all very, very happy with that purchase.
Okay. And can you remember how much you paid for them?
$100-ish for them.
Wow.
So they were quite good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to bring up the actual price.
Yeah.
Because my memory on prices doesn't seem. I bought them a year ago.
Yeah, sweet.
So.
And look, any of the things that you see today, we will put the links down below, and just follow the links, and you can see the prices for yourself. All right. Next up, you got the door handle vinyls. So talk about those.
Yep. So I've ordered a bunch of stuff from Taptes. So that includes the door handle covers, and I bought the original matte black internal parts from them, and a whole bunch of other things like some stickers, and I can put a full list up. I bought a lot of stuff from them. There's a few things that we haven't put on the car yet, like the wind noise cancellers, and I bought like the wind noise part for the roof. Oh, yeah. Like it's a little, basically a glorified rubber band. That came out a few times while we were driving, so we ended up just pulling it out, but it made no difference.
Sure, yeah. I can recall I've seen like Brian from I Want Tesla, as well as Bjorn, you know, from his channel. He's done the same treatment, and they found the results to be negligible, if anything, right?
Yeah, so the roof one, around the glass, I didn't notice any difference whatsoever.
Sure.
So
okay. Yeah, and today I don't think we're going to get time to do the door seals, but maybe in a future video.
Yeah, we literally have a box of stuff that we're going to be doing through. Yeah. But there is a few other things that we've done around the car as well.
Yeah, cool. What's another one you've done?
So we've done the red tees. So we bought a set of red tees off Amazon, and I originally thought we were just going to get the front and the rear tees. But what in fact we got was the little decals for the indicator parts, and we got little ones that go on the aero wheels as well. So that ended up being quite a nice kit. We've got a couple of spares as well for it, so if you screwed one up, you were able to recover still without having to order another set.
Alright, cool. And also down the side of the car, I'm noticing you've got another sort of treatment on the protectors.
Yeah, so the little bump strips. So I thought this was really quite a good purchase. This was $150 from Tesla Accessories Australia.
Okay.
They come in carbon fibre like we were doing, and also white for the people with white cars. And it just sticks on, there's already a groove there, but what it does is it really makes it that furthest point out. So if someone's going to door you in a car park, more likely that they'll hit that instead of your actual something that you care about.
Yeah.
And they went on in a few seconds, so that was nice and easy too.
Great. Awesome.
And so, what are you most proud of? Like, what's the standout thing that you like every time you come to the car? You're like, oh, look at my baby, I love it.
I love the carbon fibre on the outside. So I love having, so we did the door handles, we did the mirrors, we did the sidebar, and the indicator caps. So they were all solid parts, not stickers.
Yeah.
And it all came out really looking good. And with the red tees on them, it looks very, very nice.
All right, so this is all looking pretty good, but I'm noticing your wheels. Like, what have you done to your wheels?
So we just came back from a trip to Queensland, so we've got the aero covers on at the moment, but we've also got the lug nut covers and the metal inserts that go in between, and they look fantastic when they're off.
Yeah.
Costs us 5 to 10% in range, and it makes the car computer not work for the estimations very well, but looks beautiful. I love it. We're going to change them off probably today, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, I must say, look, if I actually own a Model 3, I'll probably have the wheel covers off, to be honest, because they're not the most nicest of things, but hey, looks are subjective, but nonetheless, I do actually love, you know, it's chunky.
So the word of warning was when we were trying to take off the metal covers for the that we had in there, and they were a pain to get out to put the aero covers back on again. Took us probably 20 minutes to get them out because they were all jammed in there, trying to get like credit cards and stuff underneath it to get them to unclip.
Yeah.
Was quite an ordeal. It's not a 1 minute job to go back to aero covers.
Okay.
You don't have to take off the lug nut covers, you just have to take out the center bit.
Okay.
But apart from that, it was all good.
Great.
All right, and one more thing that I really appreciated when we were driving along, you know, was your like foam mount. Talk people through that, because that's kind of special.
So I spent quite a while looking at the different foam mount options, and what I ended up going with was a modified GoPro mount. So what it lets you do is when you've got your foam mount next to your car, you can pull it out and change it over, and you can, if you want to, you can actually fold it all the way back around and you can't even see that it's there.
Yeah.
Goes back to the aesthetic of the car.
And in your boot, I've noticed you've got a bit of a box in there. Tell me about that box.
Well, because I've been collecting stuff for 3 years, I decided that I would put it into a box, and that box contains everything that yet to be done to the car.
Yeah.
All of the different, extra wind protection stuff.
Yep.
Also seems like it's unnecessary.
Sure.
Front struts, which I think we'll do later today.
Yeah.
What else is in there? So many things. There's a whole bunch of other things that I'm yet to do that I think now have turned out to be unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do know that when I ordered mine, and well, cancelled, but anyway, it's a whole other story. You know, I did spend a fortune on stuff, and then when I got it out here, I was kind of like, geez, would I actually have needed this? Do you have any other regrets about decisions, you know, things you've actually purchased?
I mean, there's quite a few things that I bought that I don't actually think I need.
Yeah.
Example, front struts. The front struts for opening up the front.
Yeah.
Don't need them. We're going to do them anyway, just because we got them, but we don't need them.
Yeah.
The boot ones were definitely great.
And so what's your experience been like with charging on the road and stuff?
So on the road, we use the Tesla chargers pretty much exclusively. The destination chargers at a couple of places have been great, but not really necessary.
Yeah.
What I did buy though is I did buy a 3-phase 32 amp Type 2 cable for use at a hotel while we were traveling.
Okay.
So I did that purchase because they only had one of those sockets there, and we thought we'd better help them out. But in the time between I bought the cable and we actually stayed there, they got a Tesla charger installed. So didn't end up needing to use that cable.
Okay.
But we used it on the way back with Tesla on the Gong.
Okay.
It actually came in very, very handy for that. So we were trying to avoid the bushfires and things. So we did a bit of a detour down to Wollongong and had to use it down there to try and make sure that if we went through the pass that we'd be able to make it through and back if we had to turn around.
Sure.
Okay. And of all those kilometres travelled, what was the cost for supercharging?
So I used supercharger referral credits for that,
Yeah.
and still have a few left now, thankfully.
Yeah.
But what we did, if we hadn't have had free supercharging, all up it would have been about $240.
Okay.
So nice, and it wouldn't have been that expensive of a trip for 3,500 kilometres. I think we did.
Wow.
But it was nice and a nice trip, and the superchargers made it easy.
Definitely. And look, that's a great little point to make, that if you are in the market for a Tesla Model S, X or 3, do use Ash's code and you will get 1,500 kilometers of free supercharging. And well, when you get yours, you can pay for it as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's definitely a good system. I mean, realistically, it's not 1,500 kilometers is not worth that much in dollar cents.
Yeah.
But it just means that the whole transition is nice and easy.
Yeah, good point. And how did you find the smoke inside the car when you were traveling through those fire-affected areas?
So I originally bought a set of HEPA filters for the car, thinking that we would need to actually use them if there is bushfires and smoke.
Yeah.
Didn't need to, waste of money. So what we did was with the air filter did really, really well with dealing with the smoke. So we were traveling through it for over 500 kilometers. And 500 kilometers where you can't see the sky worth of smoke, and inside the car we smelt nothing until we actually got out of the car to charge.
Wow.
And when we got back in the car, we were just turn it up, make sure it's on recirculate, and let it go, and the car was fine again. Didn't even notice it.
Right. And look, that's probably a good idea that if you are traveling through those sort of areas, do put your aircon on, recirculate obviously. But you know, how much was the HEPA filter that you got?
It was about $150 to Australia.
Whoa.
So I'm still going to put it in.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of work to put it in, but I think for the other particulate stuff that it does, it's worth it.
Sure.
But in terms of the smell of smokes and things, it does a very good job with the stock filters.
Okay. And look, Ash is, because he's been doing so many modifications to his car, can people actually ask you questions?
Yeah, so I'm fairly active on Twitter now. You can DM me if you want to, or just send me a toast, and we'll use it to... I will respond. I said I've spent a lot of time working with the different features and things through the accessories, but I'm more than willing to offer my advice so you don't waste your money like I did on a lot of things.
So, what do you think you wasted your money on the most? And I hate to use that term, but look, we all have buyer's remorse.
So I would say my plan for the heads-up display was the biggest waste that I've spent money on. So the Model 3 doesn't have a CAN bus natively, so you have to buy a CAN bus adapter. So that was $600 delivered to Australia. It was not a cheap purchase. I am going to be using it for other things, which is how I justified it. But in terms of a heads-up display, absolutely unnecessary.
What can that do? Like, tell me some of the tech you've put in the car.
So for the CAN bus thing, it means I can see battery states and speeds and things through mobile devices or on the dashboard. Get a bit more detail in tech for the car, and also send commands to the car through the CAN bus. More on that later. But I have done a lot of other tech things to the car. I've gotten the Jeda Watt USB hub. Fantastic purchase, buy one. The extra USB ports. I have overloaded it a couple of times and had to pull it out a little bit and push it back in to reboot it. But apart from that, it's been a fantastic purchase.
Okay. And I understand, so then if you've got something that can wirelessly be, transmitting, from the hub, or I don't get that?
Yeah, so there's also the wireless charging stuff, but for the Jeda hub, I got it because I'm using a Raspberry Pi for my dashcam software. So through a little bit of wizardry with the network at my home, whenever I get home, the little Raspberry Pi that pretends to be a USB stick to the car uploads my Sentry videos and my saved videos from the dashcam to a network thing of a storage device. So that way I've got all of my dashcam and Sentry events that I've got saved. So rather than me trying to pull the USB stick out and plug it in and all that sort of stuff that takes time and effort, I just let it run. And because it's a computer basically, if the Tesla corrupts the USB stick because it didn't shut down properly or something similar,
Yeah.
you need to work on that Tesla. It means that I don't actually have to think about watching the footage at the time that it happened, and if I do find something later, then I can spend the time to go through my saved footage.
Gotcha. How do you actually view your footage then if you've uploaded to a computer?
So I mostly will view it just from my phone. Phone connects to the network while I'm in bed or something similar.
Okay.
That's only really if I think that there's something of interest.
Okay.
Because it's all saved off, I don't need to review it every day.
Yeah.
So I find that if I want to check on something from a week and a half ago, I still can because it's all saved on my network at home.
Mm.
And it makes it nice and easy, not having to unplug the device, look at it, worry that something's been lost.
Okay.
For sub $50, it's a worthwhile investment.
Great. And so how have you actually found the dash cam footage?
So it's been quite good. I have found though that at times one of the cameras might drop off. So all of a sudden you won't have like a left camera or reverse camera or something similar, just because there's something else going on with the way that it's writing out.
Yeah.
But I also would probably recommend getting a separate dash cam. I found that people like to tailgate you a lot, and I found that once you have a separate rear dash cam, people knows what it looks like, and so they won't tailgate you as much, seeing a little light looking back at them. That's from my previous cars. I was holding off doing it for this one, but I'm definitely going to put another dash cam in.
Okay.
So to complement the Tesla cam, but also mostly so people who don't know that Teslas have dash cams built into them will then recognize that you have still on camera.
Okay, cool. And I guess at the end of the day, that footage is actually helping our people all around the world, and you know, it's quite remarkable, some of the stories out there.
Yeah, the dash cam and the Sentry footage has been remarkable, and I think that once more people know about it, I think every car maker will end up doing something similar. But until then, we're still having to deal with people doing idiot stuff on the roads and on the cars.
Okay, so now that we've actually gone and installed the sunroof thingy, do you think that will get in the way of the camera? A dash cam rather?
No, so the dash cam, if I'd put it on the rear, would actually go behind one of the back seats, because you have a little bit of a blind spot there, so it makes it nice and easy to put stuff there without noticing.
Sure, okay.
But in terms of the roof shades, I think it'll make a big difference during the summer.
Yeah, no, for sure. And they've done an awesome job of actually blocking out that light coming through the roof. So I think it would actually make, if anything, the interior a lot nicer to get into on those hot, sunny days.
I constantly use pre-preparing the car. Me and my wife both pull out our phones and have a look at the temperature and go 10 minutes before we're leaving, and we turn it on to the aircon, so it's never actually an issue in the car for us. But having, I think, some of the heat that would come from the glass, we haven't actually noticed that, but other people in America have noticed the heat coming from the glass, so this should prevent that.
Yeah, well, very soon we've got another hot week coming up in Victoria, Melbourne, and yeah, I'll be curious to hear your thoughts as to how that actually goes.
Yeah, we'll probably leave it connected for now, just to see if there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Though from our trip to and from Queensland in the blazing sun the whole way, it was, I think, the roof was fine.
Yeah.
Didn't need it, unnecessary. But I think if we're going to be leaving our car parked in the sun all day, might end up making a little bit of a difference.
Exactly. Just to help protect the interior, I'd say.
Yeah. So
that's good. All right, Ashley, well, thanks for coming on, and look, I really appreciate everything you're doing here. And again, guys, if you're in the market for a Tesla, please do use Ash's referral code.
Yeah, and feel free to message me or tag me on stuff on Twitter. I do spend a lot of time on there now, and advice is free. So
perfect, that's great. And the Tesla community out there is doing everything they can for everyone. It doesn't matter if you have a Tesla or not. And yeah, feel free to ask. So again, thank you very much, and be good,
be green.